some slides of ways you can connect at Throop online in the next week. So we're really glad that you're here on Sunday, and there's a few opportunities during the week that you can jump on Zoom and be with some of your Throop people.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone, and we're going to watch some of those opportunities, and then we will get started right at 11.
So welcome again, everyone. Just a reminder that for much of worship, you'll be on mute, and that's not because we don't love hearing your beautiful voices, but just the nature of Zoom is muting everyone cuts down on background noise and helps us hear the videos or speakers a little bit more clearly. But we have the chat box, and for those of you who are on a screen of some kind, we just really encourage you to say hi to each other in the chat box and to use the chat box as much as you can. Some of our beloved troopers are calling in by phone, and that means we don't get to see their faces on the screen and they don't get to type in the chat box. But when we do have opportunities to share in the chat box, either Liz or I will lift up some of those so our friends on the phone have an idea about what's being typed in. I'd like to thank Andriana, who is our official chat box greeter today. So you'll see her pretty active in the chat box this morning. And then if there's anybody who is Zooming in with us today who is new to Throop and you're not receiving our weekly Tuesday tidings, or if you would like to connect more with Liz Murphy or me and find out how Throop can become your spiritual and religious home, you can just private message us in the chat box your email address, and we'll reach out to you after the service today. Welcome. It's so good to be together. Brad Wallace created a new intro video for us, and in just a minute, it will come up on your screen.
There I rest in this love. We rest in this
So come fully into our online space of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. Come in where we welcome the certain and the seeking, the lifers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted. All of you can find a home here at Throop, where we go love the world from the heart of Pasadena and from the heart of our homes. It is so good to see you all on Sunday morning, even if it is seeing you on a screen. And I invite you to take a minute and just kind of use the arrow and flip through. Look at the names and the boxes. Look at the thumbnail videos of your friends gathered together for mutual just support, care, friendship, and connection. I'm really grateful that we have technology as a way to bring us together. And sometimes technology is imperfect, believe it or not. And today in worship, if we experience a glitch or a pause in the technology, I really think that's just an invitation for us to pause ourselves and take a breath and just extend gratitude out to the people who are here and extend gratitude to the universe. As we do each Sunday, we really call this sacred space wherever we are zooming in from by sharing words for a chalice lighting. And I invite Liz Murphy, intern minister, to bring us into that space.
Our time together in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light our home chalices in a spirit of love, hope, and peace. We light this chalice to affirm that new light is ever waiting to break through, to enlighten our ways. That new truth is ever waiting to break through, to illumine our minds. And that new love is ever waiting to break through, to warm our hearts. May we be open to this light, to the rich possibilities that it brings us. Blessed be, and amen.
And at Throop, we share words each Sunday, words that are unique to Throop, but an idea that is really infused in all of Unitarian Universalism. This is a time where we unmute all so we can hear the kind of beautiful bounty of our voices joining together in our promise to our planet. As members of
the family of living beings on earth,
we are guided by the
Unitarian Universalist principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. Hearts filled with love for it, nurtured by its beauty, minds ruminating on ways to protect its sacred and scarce resources. We promise to nurture the well-being of all life, and of the planet itself.
All life and of the planet itself. And now we know who hasn't memorized.
As we move back into our time of being muted, we still want to grow that connection among and between us. So let's take a moment this morning, as we have every Sunday morning, whether in person or online, shared our warm welcome and greeting with one another. So I encourage you to take some time, those of you on your devices, to write your warm welcomes in the chat box to one another. And for those of you who are on the phone, we will be reading some of those messages aloud so we can all be a part of this gathering of warm welcome this morning. So please take a moment now to add those messages in the chat box. I know I am very excited to be with you all this morning after taking last Sunday off. I am very grateful to Reverend Tera and the Throop community for that time of Sabbath and break, but I am very much ready and excited to be back with you all this morning. Pat is sharing hugs to everyone. Melanie says, hello, one and all. So lovely to see you. Taryn says, so glad to be here with you all. Wendy sharing love from Sierra Madre. Aaron says, aloha all, happy belated May Day. Robert, another May Day greeting, happy May, good morning to all. Garrison says, greetings troopers. The building is still being cared for. I hope you all are being well cared for as well. Denise says, miss you all, happy Sunday. Karen, so wonderful to be with you all this morning. Noelle and Derek sharing their blessings and hellos. Mary says, good morning, all my loves. I am grateful to be here with you all. And Andriana, our greeter this morning, welcome to all. So happy to be here with you this morning. Diane, hi everybody. It's so nice to see you. Really looking forward to the day when we're back together in person, indeed. Francis, here's for cool welcomes for all troopers. Yes, indeed, after that little mini heat wave. Ready for some cool welcomes. Steve missed everyone last week. Cindy says, it's been a hard week, but so happy that it is Sunday so I can see all of you and have this time together. Amen to that. So folks, I know there are many other warm welcomes and greetings, and we're so happy to see all of those. I encourage those of you who are able to read through to take some time to scroll through that this morning to read everyone's warm welcomes. And now we're going to move to a time continuing that abundant connection and gathering and sing together. This morning we're going to sing the hymn For the Beauty of the Earth. And Chris, our music director, is going to lead us through that.
For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the
Thank you, Chris. Love that you recorded music for us to enjoy familiar hymns to warm our hearts. I invite you all to just take a breath in, feeling gratitude that you were able to come into this space in whatever way you're here this morning, and gently exhale. This morning's reading for reflection comes from Reverend Teresa Soto, and it's called Finding Our Dreams. The world makes many demands on your time, your skin, your body, until you are left gasping and wondering if you will ever do enough, be enough. Stop your counting and measuring and checking. You are enough. More than enough, made from fragments of the galaxy and of stars. You measure up. And to recover from the doubt that is pressed on you, the antidote for this doubt is dreaming. All the dreams that call to you in lime green and frosting pink dreams, the other soft and tender dreams that run blue to gray, sky indistinguishable from sea. The dreams that seem impossible, listen, that's their nature. If they had already happened, then they would be reality, solid and smooth like the round bone of a bird's egg. Be brave enough to name your dream, to nurture it, and allow the rhythm of your breath to bring your dreams to life. As we put some intention behind the rhythms of our breath, we have friends at the Foothills UU in Colorado. They wrote a song about breath, about holy breath, and made a video to go with it. We're about to watch it. The video does show people in simple masks covering their mouth and nose. And if for any reason those aren't images that really speak to your heart this morning, just simply close your eyes, focus on your breath, and listen to the words and music of the song, Loosen, Loosen.
Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy baby, and holy carry the weight of your muscles and bones. Let ease this pain. muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, baby, and hold and carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go.
So I invite you to just take a breath in, and if it feels right for you, to gently close your eyes. Maybe put your hand on your heart. Feel a connection with the space you are in, connection with the earth that holds us, connection with these people here whose energies are entwined with ours. Holy breath, holy name, ease our pain, discomfort, stress, anxiety. Holy breath, help us let go of whatever unnecessary stuff we are carrying in our bodies, in our skin. Give us the opportunity to just gently let that stuff go. And a space opens up within us. Just let us bring into our being a sense of gentleness, an awareness that we absolutely are enough in these days. The permission, if it's needed, to just do what you can each day. And to be good to yourself, be sweet to yourself. Open yourself up to love. And in our hearts and minds and selves, if we are able to just open up something as we let things go, I wonder if there's some dream about your life that comes to you, some hope, just some wish that you want for yourself, some way that you hope you can just live into all of who you're meant to be. And we spend just a few moments thinking about that in a little bit of stillness together, holding space across distance online. And as we take another breath together and gently open our eyes again to our community that's gathered. If there are dreams for your life that are emerging now in these days, if there's something you are hoping for, I'd love for you to just take a minute and share whatever that might be in the chat box. And it doesn't have to be a big life-altering hope or wish. Mine that I'm going to say and not put in the chat box is just this little dream I have about learning what all the bird songs are in our neighborhood that I hear throughout the day. Andriana has hopes for peace and healing. And Steve is also loving the birds. So am I. Lynn shares that she just hopes she can be open to whatever comes next. Denise hopes to not worry so much. I hope that for you too, Denise. And Mary hopes for this kind of connectedness and love and support that's happening in the world right now to continue after all of this. The silver lining during these times is so beautiful. Liz hopes for celebration and a sense of achievement. Yes, for all of those graduating that month, and Liz is among those, everybody. Liz will have her Master of Divinity mid-month, and we're so proud. Albie says, safe ending of quarantine. Diane's dream is to learn how to dream bigger, to free herself from limits that are restricting her ability to dream. Absolutely, that makes sense. And Erin started reading the Analects of Confucius in Chinese this morning. Okay, wow. Something I probably would never have done during the hustle and bustle of pre-corona normalcy. Fascinating. And Melanie's grateful for the blessings of deepening connections with the people she works with. She says it's become quite a personal time together, and she doubts that they would have experienced this otherwise. Michael says, yay, global cooling. Frances, one of her places of power is Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, and Frances has been watching about the rebuilding of that, and surely we can build something meaningful here. That is true. Yeah. And Ian hopes to return to the mountains. Well, for all of these dreams that are taking shape in our hearts, that hopefully will take flight from our lives and continue to kind of move us forward into a life of meaning, faith, and purpose, we give our thanks. So we are all trying to figure out how to navigate this really weird time, are we not? Yeah. And I've noticed that some kind of experts, they advise that one thing we can do is to create rituals throughout our day and week, rituals that kind of help us make sense of the time and give us things we can look forward to and count on. So one of those rituals for me is morning coffee with Jonathan. And this ritual actually has 2 seasons to it. There's a winter season, and in winter, when we're inside, we call it coffee, classical, and conversation. We listen to classical KUSC as we drink our coffee and talk about everything from our cats to politics to theology to how we hope our days will go. And then as the days warm up, our ritual changes and it becomes coffee, chirruping, and conversation. Now, I had never heard the word chirruping until yesterday. Maybe some of you bird lovers know what that word means, but it's basically the chirping sounds of birds. And so in the summer, we love to take our coffee outside and do some of the same conversation, just with birds in the background instead of KUSC. And we have a little patio area that we sit in, and it has a wall of jasmine right behind it. And this wall of jasmine separates our patio area from the sidewalk. And 2 months ago, this separation, kind of semi-permeable separation of the jasmine wall, it felt like plenty to have between us and our neighbors as they come down the sidewalk. But in the last 2 months that we've been sitting out there, we've noticed that it makes us feel very vulnerable to only have the jasmine. And so as we're sitting, whenever we hear someone coming down the sidewalk, we actually like duck and cover. And we realize that's a little bit of an overblown response. We do it partly just for fun now to see how dramatic we can be with our gestures. But it's also one indicator of how all of us are changing our interactions and our encounters with other people as we navigate our way through COVID-19. In Unitarian Universalism, there are two primary ways that many of us feel a connection with the sacred, something larger than ourselves, something that some of you call God. And I know about these two ways in part because you all talked to me about it, but it was also lifted up in a study done by the UU Association maybe about 15 years ago. And one of the ways we connect with something larger than ourselves is through nature. So many of us feel that sense of awe, humility, and wonder when we're watching a beautiful sunset, or hugging a tree, or sitting next to a beautiful mountain stream. And that's the religious naturalism that runs through our tradition. And then, of course, another way that we experience that is through our interactions with one another. And that's the religious humanism that runs through our UU faith. For the past few weeks, Liz and I have been drawing inspiration for Sunday worship from a book called An Altar in the World from Barbara Brown Taylor. She's a Christian theologian, and every chapter in this book gives some simple way that we can connect with the sacred in our lives. And one of her chapters is on encountering others as a way that we connect with the sacred. And she tells a story about coming into her Christian faith in college and being part of a college campus Christian group. And she said in that group that people had a real habit of telling her, "I love you." And she said she didn't mind that exactly, but she also didn't really know what they were talking about. She was like, "Do they love the way my right foot turns slightly out? Do they love that I bring handwritten signs to Bible study? Do they love the way my upper lip disappears when I smile?" So she decided to find out. And the next time someone said, "I love you," she asked them, "Why?" And she said the person was really taken aback and surprised. And they're like, "Well, I love you because God loves you. And God loves everybody." And Taylor says she thought about it and decided that really wasn't enough for her. She didn't want to be loved in general. She wanted to be loved in particular, as she believed the God of her heart loved others. She said, "I'm not sure it's possible to see the face of God in other people if you cannot see the faces they already have." For us, a more humanist way of saying something similar comes up in a phrase in one of my favorite hymns. And it's the line that says, "When we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place." But I wonder what happens now when it's so hard to see one another's faces. What happens now when We're supposed to be safer at home, and we're supposed to minimize our interactions with others. How do we get that sense of sacred connection? I think this time is giving us all an opportunity to be more creative and more thoughtful about how we seek out that particular sacred connection among us. And it turns out that you all are pretty good at this already. I had asked a question on Facebook about how some of you are doing that. And with their permission, I'm going to share just a few of those right now. Albie said for him, it's these Zoom spiritual connections. And Taryn mentioned that now he is doing much more like Facebook Messenger and video calling with family and his mom, and that just warms Taryn's heart. Dave and Ripley have a 4-year-old neighbor. And so Dave and Ripley have been hiding little plastic toys in that neighbor's yard for the neighbor to come out and find. Noelle said that Jasper has been writing riddles and jokes on pieces of paper and taping them into the front windows so people walking down the sidewalk can enjoy those jokes and riddles. Tish mentioned that the weekly gathering of young adults on Zoom has meant so much to her. Hans sees way more people walking by his house now, and they actually have time to stop and chat. Our friend Renee out in West Virginia said that all the neighbors there now are calling one another, seeing if somebody needs things from the grocery store. They're offering to trade their spring greens for last summer's frozen blueberries. And Amber said that during this time, she appreciates her family more than ever. She has never spent so much time with her son. And she thinks the last time she had this much time with her husband was when they were in grad school. And she's just more aware than ever of the blessings she carries in her life. I hope that once we are moving among one another more easily again, I hope that something we bring with us from these days is this intention to just more like fully see the wholeness and holiness of each person who is in front of us, whether it's a dear friend at Throop, a neighbor, someone we see at the supermarket. And there are some of us at Throop who are doing the essential work right now. They don't get to choose whether or not they go into work and interact with people. They go in day after day, tending to and caring for people, caring for us. And so in just a moment, we have just a little video of thanks to these troopers who are out in the world doing such important work. As we watch their faces come by us on the screen, just invite all of you to send some love and healing energy and gratitude out to them and the work that they're doing.
would be one in living for each other, to show to all a new community. We would be one in building for tomorrow, a nobler world than we have known today. We would be one in searching for that meaning which binds our hearts and points us on our way. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service, with love and justice, strive to make us free.
Thank you all so much for your service in the world. So we would be one, and we at Throop are one religious community. We support each other in so many different ways. Once a year, we invite people to take some time to think about not only their volunteer commitments to Throop, but also your financial commitments to Throop. And for those of you who are able to be thoughtful about your financial commitment in the coming year, we invite you to look at the stewardship letter that Liz and I sent out a couple of weeks ago to consider your financial gift. If you're able to increase it, we of course would welcome that. If you need to decrease it right now because of just the reality of life, we absolutely understand that as well. We are asking people to fill out an online stewardship card to indicate the level of giving that you're imagining you'll be able to make in the coming year. And that will help us plan our budget for the next 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months. I'd like to take a minute right now to offer gratitude for those who have helped worship happen today. One of those is Terry Trindler on tech. She has done a great job of moving the slides and video. Thank you, Terry. Of course, Liz, worship associate, holding such a beautiful space here. Andriana, being the greeter, Brad Wallace for our new intro video, and Jennifer Quintana for offering a YouTube live after worship on Sundays. And you know, maybe my neighbors in the background, I don't know if you can hear them, but they have chosen Sunday morning to do construction, and it's really loud for me. So a little ambient noise and just a reminder that we are doing the best we can in our online spaces. We also give an opportunity each Sunday just to make a love offering, if you will, to Throop, our spiritual and religious home. You can make an offering online. I think we'll have a little screen here in a minute from Terry. You can give through the website, you can text to give, and you can always send in a check to Throop UU Church. And so we'll spend a few moments holding gratitude for our essential workers, holding gratitude for each one of us who make Throop the spiritual and religious home that it is. Thank you. Now we take a moment to voice our gratitude for just all of our people and all the gifts that you bring into Troop. And let's say together, thanks
The
for
mysteries,
the ministries,
our church,
The church and the
bless
community,
our
our community,
love
bless
and
our
hope.
offering with love and hope.
as we mentioned, as worship started, this is one way that we gather together during the week. We have multiple opportunities for online connections during the week, and you can find full listings of those either on the Troop webpage in the Tuesday tidings, or it probably is going to go in the chat box in just a second. And we also share these on our Facebook page. You can sign up for them ahead of time, or you can always just drop in. But it's a great way to continue to be with each other and encounter the sacred and holiness in one another in our online community. And as we get ready to close this part of our online connection, words for the benediction. In the days to come, may this time we spent together remind us that new light is ever waiting to illumine our minds, that new truth is ever waiting to illumine our lives, and that new love is ever waiting to break through to warm our hearts. I love you all. Go out and love the world. Amen. And blessed be. We pause here. We enjoy a postlude from Chris. Freshen up your morning beverage and please come back for a few minutes and enjoy coffee hour together.
Thank